build their lives on the Bible, sometimes we lift the Bible directly from a different context and put it into our context. The people of the Bible in the Old Testament did not have democracy. In fact, democracy was not functioning in Bible times. Democracy started from the Greek civilization and the Romans, and then eventually has become quite popular in our time. So in the Bible days, there was no democracy. In Bible days, there was theocracy and monarchy. So the way, for example, kings and leaders were elected in Bible days is very different. So when we draw direct references between biblical Israel and Ghana, for example, we are going to have serious biblical challenges. Because Israel was a covenanted nation. Israel did not elect kings. The kings were ordained by God. The kings were called by God. The kings were released by God. In Ghana, political leaders are not ordained by God. Political leaders are elected. So a Ghanaian elected president or American elected president or British elected prime minister is not equal to a person ordained by God. Because they have come into office in two different ways. One, by the declaration of God. When Samuel goes to anoint somebody, David, he doesn't need a vote. Samuel goes and says, God says, amongst your sons Jesse, there is a boy here, and he anoints him, and he says, that's the king. Who voted for him? Only Jesse, only Samuel. As a matter of fact, if David stood for election in his own house, he would have lost. His brothers will vote against him, his father will vote against him, the whole tribe will vote against him, but God chose him. That is a theocracy. Samuel is a priest. He determines who is president. But that's not how democracy works. So when you confer the same authority of a God-elected king to a people-elected king, they are two different things. Totally different. And their source of power is very different. I hope you're following what I'm teaching. Okay, so for a Christian to say, for example, God says, touch not my anointed because somebody is president. He's not the anointed. A president is not the anointed of the Lord. The anointed of the Lord is a person that God chooses. The president is the elected of the people, not the anointed of the Lord. He's subject to the people, and he's not in office because God has called him. And that's very important, because in a democracy, God does not elect leaders. The people do. In a democracy, God does not elect leaders. I hope you get this right, because this is so important for us as Christians. Does it mean God recognizes the leader? Yes.